I am taking a break and just pushing pause. My energy is through the roof. I feel like I'm high, and I'm not. I'm just, this is the energy. This is part of it. I always document when I have a shift. I always track it. It's severe exhaustion. It's the hormones. And I had another massive shift in my last video. So I'm taking a break and I'm just processing. And I can feel all of it trickling down my spine again, from like top of my head all the way down into the nape of my neck and then all down my spine. And I'm shaking, and I'm back to recording the shift from the 10th to the 11th perspective. This is the third perspective that I've been able to catch on recording. My biggest announcement right now is that I am officially moved on to Facebook. I am all done posting live on YouTube. I am all done posting live everywhere. I post in my secret little page on Facebook in a secret little corner where I'm safe with my secret little circle of trust of 19 people right now. And that's okay, because I feel really safe here. And that's where I need to be, and this is probably where I'm going to stay, is my circle of trust. I found Discipulus, and now I'm going, oh look, I'm surrounded by people who don't judge me. I'm safe. And that allows me to pretty much be myself. I can, because I'm talking to Discipulus, I'm talking to you. And because I'm talking to you, I don't have to worry anymore about being judged. So I can finally just be myself. I'm really, really cold. I don't remember if being cold was part of this in the past. I have to go back and look on my videos. I probably will never go back and look on my videos. I won't have time. So I am just going to record as much of this as I possibly can. Authority is God. It's not God. God is, we need to stop using the word God. God is not at all what we thought it was. It's just the authority. And we basically have this war going on between our authority versus conceit. Conceit. I need to look up that word. I'm so tired. And I want to go to sleep, but I can't stop thinking. Excessively proud. Ooh, vanity. Fred is so conceited. Easter egg. Fred. Yes, I'm in the right place. Thank you. Excessively proud of oneself, vain. Fred is so conceited he'd never believe anyone would refuse him. Oh, it also means narcissistic. Easter egg. Oh, I already see all of that. There is no narcissism. It's not what we think it is. We are wrong. Stop using narcissism. Stop using God. Those are delusions. Those are part of the matrix. Narcissist needs to become a banned word. God needs to become a banned word. They are distractions from the truth. They're not the truth. They're not the truth at all. They are scary words that prevent us from changing. They are scary words that prevent acceptance. Did you just hear what I said? They literally create fear on purpose to prevent acceptance. The best way to avoid change is to make them afraid. Mr. Spam Likely is calling me. Spam Likely. You know who Spam Likely reminds me of? Snidely Whiplash. That's right. Spam Likely. That is my name. All right, now. So to avoid change, if you're really afraid of change, the best way to make sure change doesn't happen is to create fear. So the best way to create fear is to create words like narcissism, arrogance, God. Ooh, I have more words. Selfish. Ooh, these are the words. These are the words. These are the words. Ready? Ready? I have the list. I told you I'd be sharing you with a list. I have the list. Where's the list? Boy, I write a lot. It's so funny. My work is going to be like scattered all over the place. My work is scattered all over the place. I've got it at my old apartment. I've got it at my, okay, here we go. Stonewalling. Running away equals being a coward. Failure. Pussy. weak, disappointment, slut, whore, selfishness, obedience, nice, good, approval, narcissist, God. These are words that were invented to create fear on purpose, to prevent you from changing, to prevent you from accepting change. That's really what this is about. It is a battle between change versus comfort. This is the true war. This is the true war. Everything else is a distraction. All right, discipulus. I am so cold. It's the hormones. The hormones from the perspective shift cause a significant change in body temperature. It causes shaking. I'm yawning a lot. It's as if it's the same stuff. Why do we yawn? Mycelium. What? Why? I'll have to text my love. My love knows this answer. Why do we yawn when we take mushrooms? It's the same thing. And I don't understand it. But he has that knowledge. He has all of the knowledge that I lack. He's the other half of me. So whenever there's information I lack, I can just plug into him and be like, all right, he is the yin to my yang. I am yin and he is yang. So every time I lack something, I can just plug into his brain and he's got the answer. Always. 100% of the time. That's why he's my partner. I am so cold. Super nerd. Oh. Oh. You. Oh. I just realized I texted the wrong person a boundary. And I actually gained practice for setting boundaries. Oh, that's wonderful. One moment. I'm here for comfort right now, and I feel like I'm in a safe place where I can come here and just be comfortable. And while I'm here, I'm like, yeah. I have to do a meditation. All right. I am in the process of learning how to effectively navigate communication in socialization situations. And that is one of the things that I have to teach is effective communication. Because that's the problem. This is all just a communication gap. And so I talked about this, the stages of anger. You have the anger and the aggression. Well, no, it's not anger. You have anger, and then you have aggression, violence, and then you have communication, and then you have change. So my job, my calling, is to teach communication. That's where it all is going to start, is communication, boundary, and how to navigate socializations. Once we learn how to effectively socialize using human behavior, which is what we all should have learned, we will find that we're able to connect. When we're able to connect, we'll stop feeling lonely. When we stop feeling lonely, we'll actually be able to will calm down. You'll see. It's going to be amazing. Um, so I have, wow, this is really different. Oh my God, is this different? I can feel it. Oh, I'm so tired. I'm going to go and I smoke weed to actually slow my brain down because it goes so fast that it goes so fast. So I slow it down so I can, yeah. Yeah, this is definitely a perspective shift into the 11th. I can see the networks. The networks are each one of these corners of a triad. I don't want to talk about it. I want to rest. Oh. So I'm going to be recording all of my videos live from now on in this little space because I'm safe here. Oh my God, I'm so safe here. And I can completely drop my guard and relax and finally talk like I need to talk and not be an asshole. Sorry, everyone. And it's because my defenses were up so high because I felt open, exposed, and threatened. And I'm like, how am I going to do this? So I'm in my boundary. I'm actually in my genie bottle right now. Genie bottle. And because I'm in my safe space, in my circle of trust, I now can talk properly and effectively. So I need to get some better equipment. So that's going to be my next goal. And I need to figure out if I should start with camera, lighting, or speaker headphone. I'm going to ask you guys, what do you want first? Do you want speaker headphone? Do you want, which one needs to be fixed first? Because I'm in a position where I can finally get one of those things. And I can't figure out if I should start with the camera. I would kind of want to start with the camera, or if I should go right to the headphones, but I can't do both yet. I can feel all of this, and it just feels so good. So everything is one. Oh, this is something I posted the other day. Nothing gets in the way of vision more than the opinions, noise, and unsolicited advice of others. Because once you get to like a certain perspective, unless you have peers, it's all just obsolete. And that's my problem, is I need peers, which is one of the things I'm looking for is peers. But I have a feeling, I know I don't have peers. Because if I had peers, then somebody else would be at the front line doing what I'm doing, and no one is as headed. I'm first in line. It's kind of one of those things where when you're first in line, you're going, yeah. I'm looking for people who are first in line, but maybe it takes a psychologist and somebody who's first in line to do all of this. But it wasn't just the psychology, it was the sociology. You have to study all three of them. You need to study the University of Alexandria. They knew how to educate people. That is where I went to school. That is my alma mater. The ancient University of Alexandria. That is where I got my degree. And I am, yes, I love the Library of Alexandria. When you rebuild the education system, it needs to be off of that. 100%. Follow it verbatim. And if you'll notice, 50% of the curriculum is communication, storytelling, for a reason. Theater, the arts, creation, and imagination. That was done on purpose. They knew exactly what they were doing. They knew how to make people like me. They had the philosopher's compass, and they were putting the philosopher's compass into their actual education system. So people were studying the philosopher's compass inside of the university. But you don't get the philosopher's compass until you graduate to that level. There's only 4 people who graduated to that level. Would you like their names? The only ones who graduated to that level to see the actual philosopher's compass was Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, and Christ. I think Alexander the Great was a school dropout. I'm certain of it, that he was a narcissistic third perspective who got through the system, and as a result, he never completed the curriculum. So he never earned the philosopher's compass. So he dropped out and instead imperialized and helped with 90% of Romans' imperialization. Note to self. Alexander the Great is an example of what happens when the philosopher's compass is corrupted. Educate the victims. and they can't be victims anymore. That is where everybody went wrong. That's where Plato got that messed up. They hoarded the philosopher's compass. Everyone needed this information. Because yes, the narcissists will use it, and the victims will know. You can't be a victim to narcissism if you understand. That's one of the things I teach in my classes, is how to spot a narcissist and how to completely diffuse them of their power. 100% power, authority, control, authority. Authority is the real God. That is what Socrates was looking for. That is one of the triangles. Well, that is the corner of the triadic healing. I need to take a nap, and I need to eat, and I need to go to the grocery store. I am so glad I found Discipulus. Oh my God, I am so glad I found you. So that's actually what I wanted to talk about in this video, but I was just processing the hormones and I was cold. Wow, I can feel confidence. Like I can feel confidence. Like it was me versus conceit. It was my truth versus conceit. Listen to that. That's it right there. It was me versus conceit. And I couldn't get over the conceit. I could not overcome the conceit. That's where Christ messed up. That's where Plato messed up. They hoarded the information because they understood how dangerous it was. I was the same way. When I first saw all of this, I went, oh my God, how much do I tell them? Because in the wrong hands, that's where they got it wrong. That is absolutely where they got this wrong. I had to learn from their mistakes. This is information that should not be hoarded. Everyone needs to know about the philosopher's compass. Now, I think it's hilarious that the philosopher's compass is a triangle, by the way. Geometrically, what does that mean? There is a reason why Plato said, let no man who has not studied geometry enter these walls. You beautiful man, Plato. My God, he was a genius. I love that man. The triangle is the strongest element. You know what this started with? This came from my book, Dolor and Shadow. That's actually where this all started. I was putting together the elements, and I noticed that the elements weren't 4, they were 3. That's the problem. There are not 4 elements. There are 3 elements. Fire is a chemical reaction. It is not an element. Earth, fire, air. Those are the 3 elements. That's actually the first triad. Write that down, people. Triad. Earth, fire, and air. Oh, why did I put down water? Like I said. So earth, water, and air. Those are the first 3 elements. It starts there. That's part of this triad stuff. Earth, air, and water. Air is the Holy Spirit. Water is like blood. Come on, Anna. Come on, Anna. The Christ of blood, the blood of Christ. Water would be the now. Earth is grounding. That's identity. Earth is identity, grounding, the self. There it is. Water is community. Air is the energy. Pretty cool, huh? So, earth, water, and air. Earth is the grounding. It is the self. It is like, well, earth. I'm a Taurus. I am a Taurus and a Taurus and a Taurus. I am a Taurus sun, Taurus moon, Taurus Mercury, Taurus something else. I have 4 Taurus in me. And then I am a Leo rising. I am solid. I am solid. So that is earth. And then there is water. Water of the room. Another Easter egg. Those are going to happen a lot lately. The further we get, the closer I get to the end of this, it's not the end, it's the beginning. Easter egg. Oh. Okay. All right. That's me confronting the nature going, I get it. All right. It's not the end, it's the beginning. There it is. Ooh. It's almost there. I am the beginning and the end. It's not the end, it's the beginning. It starts over at the beginning. It starts over at the end. It starts over at the end. It starts over at the end. Harry Potter, I open at the close. I open at the close. It starts over at the end. I am Omega, the beginning and the end. Read the realm of okay. Worm of Ouroboros. All right, it is time. It is time. 'Tis time. The worm of Ouroboros. Ouroboros. The worm Ouroboros. This was a book by E.R. Edison that I purchased 30 years ago. And I said, I need this book. I must read this book. This book is part of this. And I bought it and never read it. I am looking at it right now. And there it sits. The Worm of Ouroboros. Never read it. It's time. Yep, that came loud and clear. Thank you, universe. Mother Nature's going, read it now. Okay. So I have to read this book now. It's time. Easter eggs. So, it's starting over at the end. I open at the close. I am Omega at the beginning of the end. And I see this giant O. And I see the worm Ouroboros. And she is telling me, now, Anna, like seriously, I got it. Like I am not supposed to delay this. Like she is kicking me in the ass now, and I need to read this book. So I'm going to go ahead and probably read it online, or at least read it and like evaluate and be like, oh my God, like, oh yeah. So I have to read this book now. Like it's mandatory. I got a mandatory reading assignment from the universe. I love these things. So I have to read The Worm of Ouroboros. All right, now, what am I doing? Just a moment. I need to do part 2 of this. I'm setting boundaries and I'm learning communications. Okay. Being taught, learning that boundaries are not... Dan, can you hand me the Worm of Ouroboros? It's over there on my shelf somewhere. Oh. Yeah, I thought I was looking at it, but it was much ado about nothing instead.
Did someone use my plate?
I don't think so. Yes, I did.
Okay. Is it buried behind books? Because I'm cooking in the other room right now.
It shouldn't be buried beneath books, but it might be.
What's it called?
The Worm of Ouroboros. O-U-R. It's either, look behind Ayn Rand and Victor Hugo, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Okay. Take out that shelf section right there. Yep, move that.
Okay, too much to do about nothing and stuff.
Yeah, check behind there. Nope, that's Karen Monning. All right, and then take a look behind Lord of the Flies and Machiavelli.
This one? No.
Nope, top shelf, right there. Yep, move that. And that's behind Les Miserables and Don Quixote. Do you see it there? The Worm of Ouroboros?
Yep.
There it is, yep. All right, under Jules Verne. Okay. Yes, The Worm of Ouroboros. Like I said, I bought this book 30 years ago. I found it in an attic in an opera house. I gotta tell you about my opera house. So yeah, this is it, The Worm of Ouroboros.
That's a nice D20 Bible book.
Thank you. An epic fantasy to compare with Tolkien's Lord of the Rings, a literary event of the first importance. So this came out when Lord of the Rings came out, and it paled in comparison, supposedly. Same thing happened with the Phantom of the Opera. There were two Phantom of the Opera musicals that were released at the same time. Andrew Lloyd Webber's and I can't remember the authors right now. But because of Andrew Lloyd Webber's notoriety, is that the right word? The other Phantom of the Opera called The Phantom, I can't remember. It became an unknown musical. I love them both. I actually prefer, well, I love them both. I can't. So, The Worm of Ouroboros. Wow. I got it. Oh my God. Oh, what a wonderful. My God, I love this smell. Okay. Shelley had to write the Prometheus Unbound. He was under compulsion, for a superhuman energy had come upon him, and he was forced to create a matter that would permit him to imagine, and think, and speak like God. Oh, we're going to do this. The Worm Ouroboros, no worm, but the serpent itself, is a wonderful book. As a story or as prose, it is wonderful, and there being a cause for every effect, the reason for writing it should be as marvelous again. Shelley had to write the Prometheus Unbound. He was under compulsion, for a superhuman energy had come upon him, and he was forced to create a matter that would permit him to imagine, and think, and speak like a god. It was so with Blake, who willed to appear as a man, but existed like a mountain. And at their best, the work of these poets is inhuman and sacred. It does not greatly matter that they had or had not a message. It does not matter at all that either can be charged with nonsense, oh, hello, Don Quixote, or that both have been called madmen. All right. The same charge might be laid against a volcano or a thunderbolt or this book. It does not matter that they could transcend human endurance and could move tranquilly in realms where lightning is the norm of speed. The work of such poets is sacred because it outpaces man, and in a realm of their own, wins even above Shakespeare. Ooh, bold words. An energy such as come on the poets has visited the author of this book, and his dedicatory statement that it is neither allegory nor fable, but a story to be read for its own sake, puts us off with the assured arrogance of the poet who is too busy creating to have time for school mastering. Yeah, that's my problem right now. But waking or in dream, this author has been in strange regions and has supposed But waking or in dream, this author has been in strange regions and has supped at a torrent which only the greatest know of. The story is a long one. This reader would have liked it twice as long. The place of action is indicated casually as the planet Mercury, and the story tells of the wars between two great kingdoms of that planet and the final overthrow of one. Mr. Edison is a vast man. He needed a whole cosmos to play in and created one, and he forged a prose to tell of it that is as gigantic as his tale. And reading this book, the reader must a little break his way in and must surrender prejudice that are not allowed for. He may think that the language is more rotund than is needed for a tale, but as he proceeds, he will see that only such a tongue could be spoken by these colossi. Colossi? I need my love. And soon he will delight in a prose that is as life-giving as it is magnificent. This is going to be a very personal and private experience for me. Nope, we're going to finish this. Mr. Edison's prose never plays him false. It rises and falls with his subject and is tender, humorous, sour, precipitate, and terrific as the occasion warrants. How nicely the Kaga danced for the red foliot. Foxy red above, but with black bellies, round furry faces, innocent amber eyes, and gray soft paws. On a sudden the music ceased, and the dancers were still and standing side by side, paw in furry paw. They bowed shyly to the company, and the red foliot called them to him, and kissed them on the mouth, and sent them to their seats. Corin leaned on the parapet, and shaded his eyes with his hand that was broad as a smoked haddock, and covered on the back with yellow hairs growing somewhat sparsely as the hairs on the skin of a young elephant. A dismal tempest suddenly surprised them. For 40 days it swept them in hail and sleet over wide, wallowing ocean, without a star, without a course. Night came down on the hills. A great wind moaning out of the hueless west tore the clouds as a ragged garment, revealing the lonely moon that fled naked betwixt them. Dawn came like a lily, saffron-hued, smirked with smoke-grayed streaks that slanted from the north. He was naked to the waist, his hair, breast, and arms to the armpits clotted in a drop of blood, and in his hands 2 bloody daggers. Quotations can give some idea of the rhythm of his sentences, but it can give none of the massive sweep and intensity of his narrative. Milton fell in love with the devil because the dramatic action lay with him. And in this book, Mr. Edison trounces his devils for being naughty. The word bad has not significance here. That's right. But he trounces the Wizard King and his kingdom with affection and delight. What gorgeous monsters are Goris the XII and Corin and Corinius. The reader will not easily forget them, nor Goris's great antagonist Lord Jus, nor the marvelous traitor Lord Grow, with whom the author was certainly in love. I'm glad I'm not the only one who falls in love with their fictitious creatures. Bergen, nor the great fights and the terrible fighters, Lord Brandakdaha and Goldri Blushko, and a world of others and their wives, nor will he forget the mountain Kostra. Narcissism, love of self. I know your name. Who is the Greek myth who fell in love with his art? Pygmalion. Easter egg. The rain and stain stays mainly in the plains. I love My Fair Lady so much that I have the Barbie doll, My Fair Lady, in mint condition, still in her box, unopened. The rain and stain stays mainly in the plains. Art creation. So, self-love is narcissist. Narcissus. We should be like Narcissus. We should all be like Narcissus. You fucking assholes. Narcissist is a misnomer. A narcissist actually hates himself. Narcissus was in love with himself. When you want people to avoid change, you give them words that make them fear change. Stop using the word narcissist. It's not true. It's a misnomer. Pygmalion was the myth of an artist who fell in love with his creation. There's a third one that we're missing. Self-love, imagination, Self, identity, come on, Anna, you know this. Community, community. Polyamory. Something is missing. Polyamory, narcissism, Pygmalion. Go back to the Greeks. They already figured it out. They already figured it out. Rome had to destroy Greece because, come on, Anna, you know the answer to this. It's right in front of your face. Narcissism, Pygmalion, orgies. Orgies. Orgies, narcissists, Pygmalion. Rome, on purpose, destroyed that triad. Why? You know the answer. I know the answer. I know the answer. I know the answer. They destroyed it because of control. Because of control. Ah! Alexander the Great. That's why. Alexander. You little. Alexander the Great was a student of Aristotle. Aristotle was a student of Plato. Socrates was supposedly a fictitious imagination of Plato. We don't know. He may have existed. But Socrates is top, and then Plato. But really, all we know about Socrates came from Plato. So we don't know if Socrates actually existed. Plato had a student named Aristotle, and Aristotle had a student named Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great dropped out of the university and then imperialized all of Rome. When he did that, on purpose, he destroyed the triad. He destroyed narcissism, Pygmalion, and the orgy. That's when Rome switched over to a monogamous society. It didn't happen overnight, but it became the conflict. It became a massive conflict over Rome versus the new Rome versus the old Rome. There were two Romes. There were actually three Romes. There was the old Rome, classic Rome, the new Rome, which is Alexander the Great's Rome and Julius Caesar's Rome and Nero's Rome. And then there was the third Rome, which is actually the Byzantium Empire. Three Romes. The fourth Rome is the Holy Christian Empire. All right, now, which is still in presence today. Mr. Edison is a vast man. He needed a whole cosmos to play in. I already read that part. Oh, so huge he was that even here at 6 miles distance, the eye might not at a glance behold him, but must sweep back and forth as over a broad landscape from the ponderous roots of the mountain where they sprang black and sheer from the glacier up the vast face, where buttress was piled upon buttress and tower upon tower, in a blinding radiance of ice-hung precipice and snow-filled gully, to the lone heights where, like spears menacing high heaven, the white teeth of the summit ridge cleft the sky. Mr. Edison's prose does not derive from the English Bible. I love you. His mind has more affinities with Celtic imaginings and method, as does mine. And his work is Celtic in that it is inspired by beauty and daring rather than by thoughts and moralities. He might be Scotch or Irish, scarcely the former, for while Scotland loves full-mouthed verse, she, like England, is prose shy. But from whatever heaven Mr. Edison come, he has added a masterpiece to English literature. That was the introduction by James Stephens. Just the introduction of the worm of Ouroboros. Ouroboros, Ouroboros, Ouroboros. All right. I see now. I have three. Grounding. Oh, my imp, my love, my life. Grounding. Imagination, my pet. X. Community. I'm looking for one more. I have my grounding, I have my imagination, and I have one more, and I'm looking for my community. So, oh my God, this is going to be like this is going to be, all right. I'm going to be producing all of my content out of this page going forth. I'm safe here. I can talk to you, discipulus. I feel safe here. So all of my content from now on will be recorded out of this very private corner of my world where I'm free to say whatever I need to say to finish this work. And then I will be uploading it to YouTube and sharing it around Facebook. Everything is going to be henceforth shared out of this area. I'm going to be conducting my classes all over my Facebook page. YouTube is just going to become my archives and my records. And yeah, it's time to build this. Well, it's built. It's time to knock over all the dominoes. If you want to get in on any of this, Operation Imagination, your healing, jump into my city directory, Authenticity City, and take a look there. This is what I like to refer to as my chambers. This is the Queen's Chambers. That's where I'm recording from now, is my chambers. And only a very, very select few people have access to my chambers. Yes, this is phenomenal. And I have the Queen's Journals now. I feel safe here. I really like it here. Yeah, I feel good. I can be myself. And I can be perceived at this level as my truth, and I'm comfortable with this. And then I get to teach you how to do this, because that is what I need to do in this space, is teach you how to become this, because we are all like this. This is in all of us. Don't deitize me. You let me keep my humanity. Now, I got to figure out if I have legal rights to read this online before I can read it. And once I determine if I have legal rights to read this, then, what is the publication? It was 1950s, I believe. Whoa! No way! 1926. This book is almost 100 years old. It is much older than Tolkien. Holy shit, was he ahead of his time. Oh my God, 1926. I thought this was done in the 1950s and 60s when Lord of the Rings was published, when The Hobbit was published. Oh my God. It is neither allegory nor fable, but a story to be read for its own sake, says Edison. The proper names I have tried to spell simply. The E in Carse is long like that in Prine, the O in Crothrin short, and the accent on that syllable. Corund is accented on the first syllable. Corund, corund. Oh, corund. Presmira on the second. Presmira. Okay, there you go. Brandoch, brandoch. And that is absolutely, oh, I know that word. Brandoch daha on the first and fourth. Brandoch daha. Yep. Goris on the goris, goris, that's goris on the last syllable, rhyming with thrice. Thank you. Gorais, gorais on the last syllable, rhyming with thrice. Corinius rhymes with Flaminius. I have no idea what Flaminius is. I'll have to look it up. Galing with sailing. La firis with desire ease. Fire ease. La fire ease with desire ease. Fire ease. Ch is always guttural as in loch. Ch is always guttural as in loch. All right. Brandach Daha. Oh, I studied Old Irish and Old Norse and Latin and Spanish. Spanish is embarrassing. I have no excuse. I should be fluent. I actually have a very good excuse. Every time I spoke Spanish, I got in trouble. All right. Oh, I cannot wait. Sometimes I feel like the words were meant for me, like a message, like the universe said to Edison, write down these words for Anna. She's going to need these words. And so Edison wrote these words. Yeah, I know he did this for Poe, and I know he did this for Puccini, and I know he did it for Shakespeare. Easter eggs. And then Anna came along and read all of it and went, Yaha! Oh, I cannot wait. I am so eager. Read the book now. I hear you. Read the book. I will. All right. Easter egg. Okay. I'm going to go to the store. I have to go for a walk and decompress. I am less cold. Oh, there's that taste in my mouth. Oh, physicists and neuroscientists will have fun with this one. Every time I go through a perspective shift, I taste things in my mouth. Almost like metallic. It's the hormones. Yeah, it's like a taste. Every time I go through a perspective shift, I taste metal. I don't know why. All right, let me see if I have, there's my love. Oh, I didn't even think to ask the internet. Magic mushrooms cause the yawn. Psilocybin. Current theories suggest that the areas involved, including parts of the cortex, limbic systems, hypothalamus, and the brainstem. Brainstem. That's where all my activity is going right now. Scientists have learned from malformations and lesions that the core of the yawning center is located in the brainstem. Interesting. Contagious yawning may arise from the blah, 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 blah. Over the years, scientists have developed the main hypothesis to explain why people yawn. I don't care. I want to know why they yawn when they take mushrooms. Why do mushrooms make you yawn? Four main hypotheses. Hallucinogen. Eating mushrooms that contain psilocybin can help have a variety of effects. This is not helping. All right, I'm going to have to do research and figure out why, because it's the same thing. There's something there. All right, I'll get to the bottom of that. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here, and I need to decompress and rest. Take a look at the link tree below at my cities directory. Decide which part of this you want to be involved in, if you want to be involved at all. Thank you so much. And may the kindest of words always find you.